December, Gulf of Maine. While most fishing operations wind down for winter, the mathematics have changed. $18 per pound, the highest lobster prices in recorded history. A global shortage has created what industry analysts call a perfect storm. $20 million worth of American lobster, Homerus americanus, migrating along the continental shelf. And 72 hours before complete harbor freeze-up. Captain Iron Mike stands beside 4,000-gallon fuel tanks on the Viking Rose. The mathematics are brutal. $20,000 just to clear the dock. Diesel fuel at winter pricing. Hydraulic oil rated for sub-zero operation. The investment before a single trap hits the water. But the National Weather Service has issued something else. Polar Vortex warning. An Arctic air mass descending from the Canadian Shield. Surface temperatures -25 Fahrenheit. The window is closing. 3 rival crews. Viking Rose, the industrial operation, $2 million in debt, running maximum capacity. Sea Valkyrie, tactical, technology-driven, fighting to prove deep water capability. And the others? Monitoring weather data, checking hydraulic pressure, testing winch systems in the pre-dawn darkness. The harbour will freeze solid, but right now, in this narrow window, the ocean floor holds the largest lobster concentration in decades. The engines are firing up. The race begins now. The harbour entrance disappears behind them. 3 boats, 150 miles to the canyon grounds. The physics change immediately. Coastal waters, 4-foot chop, predictable wind patterns. Open Atlantic, 20-foot swells, testing every weld joint, every rivet connection. The Viking Rose's steel hull flexes with each wave impact. Calculated stress within design parameters, but the machinery feels it.
Engine temperature holding steady at 190. Fuel consumption rate 42 gallons per hour. Hydraulic pressure maintaining 3000 psi.
Then the sea smoke rolls in. -10 degrees Fahrenheit air meeting 40-degree ocean surface. Dense fog, impenetrable. Visibility drops to 0 in 30 seconds. Captain Sarah on Sea Valkyrie switches to radar-only navigation. The screen shows green blips, other vessels, moving targets. One miscalculation means collision at 30 knots.
Radar contact bearing 270, range 800 yards, reducing speed to 25 knots.
The boats pitch and roll. Hydraulic systems compensate automatically. Pressure valves opening, closing, maintaining winch stability. Diesel engines burn fuel at maximum thermal efficiency. But the real test waits ahead. The continental shelf, where 1,000-foot depths hold millions in ancient lobsters. The machinery will either hold or break under pressure. 1,000 feet below the surface. The steel cables cut through black water, carrying traps that weigh 500 pounds when loaded. The winch systems engage with calculated precision. Hydraulic pumps generating 3,000 psi. Steel cables rated for 10-ton loads. But the ocean doesn't care about engineering specifications. 20-foot swells demand split-second timing. Haul too early, the trap swings like a wrecking ball. Too late, and the cable snaps under lateral stress.
Trap coming up. Distance 200 feet. Hydraulic pressure holding steady.
Jason, 19 years old, struggles with frozen hydraulic lines. The oil has thickened to syrup consistency. His movements are clumsy, dangerous. 500 pounds of steel and lobster suspended above the deck. The trap breaks the surface. Water cascades off steel mesh. Ancient lobsters, 5, 8, 10 pounds each, claws banded in territorial warfare. The mathematics flash on screen. $400, $800, $1,200.
This one's a gold mine. Look at the size of these monsters.
But the machinery operates beyond design limits. Sub-zero temperatures brittle the steel. Each trap retrieval stresses the system further. The real question isn't profit, it's whether the equipment survives the next haul. Because the sonar shows something else. The main migration, still coming. The forecast was wrong. 12 hours early, the Polar Vortex descends like a guillotine. Air temperature -25 Fahrenheit. And then the physics turn lethal. Freezing spray. Seawater hitting steel at 30 miles per hour, crystallizing on contact. Each wave adds mass. 1 inch of ice buildup equals 4 tons of top weight on the superstructure. The boat becomes unstable.
Ice forming on the wheelhouse. Starboard side taking heavy build-up. We need to break it now.
Captain Sarah faces the calculation. The honey hole produces $5,000 per hour. But the Sea Valkyrie lists 3 degrees to starboard. Physics doesn't negotiate. Baseball bats emerge, sledgehammers, coordinated strikes against 6-inch ice formations. But the hydraulic systems are failing. Oil viscosity increases exponentially in extreme cold. Smooth fluid becomes thick paste.
Hydraulic pressure dropping. Main winch barely responding. Oil's like molasses down here.
The machinery that hauled millions from the depths now struggles with basic operations. Pumps strain against thickened hydraulic fluid. Steel components contract and bind. The infrastructure of profit crumbles under thermodynamic law. Yet the sonar still shows them. Massive concentrations directly below. The question becomes, shut down and survive, or push the machinery beyond failure point for the biggest haul in maritime history. Then it happens. The main hydraulic pump on Viking Rose seizes. $30,000 worth of loaded traps hanging from the winch. The boat lists dangerously as 20-foot seas crash over the rail.
Main hydraulics locked up. We got 50 traps dragging us down. Engines screaming to compensate.
The mechanic emerges with a blowtorch. High-pressure hydraulic lines, 3,000 psi, frozen solid. The physics are unforgiving. Controlled flame against explosive pressure, while waves detonate across the deck. But something else is happening. The migration. Every trap breaks the surface, overflowing. Lobsters hanging off the mesh exterior. The deck becomes a writhing carpet of claws and carapace. Millions in live cargo.
Jesus, look at this haul. They're falling off the sides. We can't even count them.
The systems operate beyond all design parameters. Warning alarms cascade through the wheelhouse. Hydraulic pressure fluctuates wildly. Steel components flex past safe limits. The crew ignores frostbite protocols, hands numbed beyond sensation. The blowtorch flickers against frozen metal. One miscalculation means hydraulic explosion. But 30 feet below, the sonar shows more. The largest concentration yet, and the pump needs to hold for one more string. 50,000 pounds of live cargo. The boats sit low in the water, hulls riding 6 inches deeper than departure trim. But the coastline has transformed. What was open water 72 hours ago is now a jagged maze of pack ice.
Coast Guard cutter Seneca to Viking Rose. The gut is sealed. Repeat, harbour entrance is frozen solid. We're cutting a channel now.
The gut. Harbour entrance width, 200 yards in summer. Current navigable channel, 60 feet. The Coast Guard icebreaker carves steel against ice, but the path closes behind her wake in real time. Physics working against engineering. Then the sea chests clog. Intake valves designed to pull seawater for engine cooling now choke on ice slush. Engine temperature rises past red line. 210 degrees, 220. The diesel will seize without coolant flow.
Engine temp spiking. Sea chest blocked solid. We got maybe 3 minutes before shutdown.
The live cargo suffocates without circulation pumps. 50,000 pounds of lobster dying in the holds, while salvation sits 1 mile away. Captain Mike throttles to maximum power, 3,600 RPM against design limits. The hull shudders. Steel plates flex as the boat rams through slush barriers at ramming speed. One breach means sinking with a season's fortune. But the dock lights are visible. The channel narrows to 40 feet, and the ice is closing fast. Steam rises from the catchholds as cranes engage. Hydraulic lifts, rated for 2-ton loads, hoist crates of live cargo directly from deck to refrigerated transport. The logistics shift into industrial precision. Boston-bound trucks idling with diesel engines, their refrigeration units maintaining 34 degrees Fahrenheit.
Crane operator to dock supervisor. Load weight, 1,800 pounds per crate. Internal temp holding steady. Ready for transport sequence.
The settlement sheet. 20,000 in fuel costs, 12,000 in bait expenses, hydraulic repairs, 8,000. What remains gets divided among 6 crew members. Viking Rose final tally, $450,000 gross revenue. Jason walks away with 45,000 cash. 4 days of work, frostbitten fingertips and exhaustion traded for a year's salary. But the mathematics extend further. Track 1 Lobster. From the icy deck of Viking Rose to Logan Airport Cargo Bay. 18 hours later, Narita International, Tokyo. Final destination, a $100 plate in a Ginza restaurant.
Load manifest complete. All cargo accounted for. Trucks rolling in 15 minutes.
Captain Mike stares back at the frozen harbour, the ice already sealing the channel they just escaped. His debt reduced by half, but the addiction remains. The season reopens in 3 months, and the ocean will be waiting. Subscribe the Pelagic Archives for more documentary.